So right off the bat, the energy that you're projecting here is the Magician in the reverse position. A lot of the times, this basically indicates, the speech, the ways in which we can convince others to come on board with our ideas, the ways in which we have to like somehow withhold the truth or distort the truth in order to present a specific situation, in order to present a case. And a lot of the times, as it relates to communication, this card also means, deception. It can also mean not being able to speak our truth in a way that we want. So there is some external constraints, basically, on your ideas, on the way that you project yourself into the world. There might be some blockages when it comes to, higher ups not being receptive to what you have to say. So you feel a little bit as if your energy is either sapped, or the things that you're hoping to implement into the world are not being received in the way that you'd hope. So there's some type of stall communication, some type of stall implementation of new projects as well. And with the Magician in the reverse position, this is a card about learning. This is a card about mastery of, specific skills, and as well as mastery of our emotions, our head, and our faculties. And when it shows up in the reverse position, they're urging you, honestly, are there certain things that you might not have full knowledge about? If yes, maybe it's time to, go back and review. Maybe it's time to do a little bit more research, a little bit more analysis, read up on a specific topic so that you can become the master and that you can deliver the message, so that you can deliver, your expert opinion in a way where it actually validates, it validates your worth, but it also validates whatever it is that you are a master of. Okay. So it's kind of like, where do we need to increase or, enhance our credibility as it pertains to other people that we're dealing with? So I do feel that, this is a card that is urging you to master some specific skills so that you can achieve greatness in the world. As it relates to your second house here, we do have the Justice card in the reverse position. So the second house deals with income. And with the Justice card in the reverse position, a lot of you might be in, legal disputes. A lot of you might be in a work environment where you feel almost as if, hey, I'm doing a lot of the work, but for some reason, my compensation is not exactly, what I feel that I'm worth. So with this card as a major arcana card showing up in the reverse position as well, they're pretty much urging you to right a wrong. They're pretty much urging you to, really think about the job that you're doing, the work that you're doing, as well as how you're able to make your income, and to figure out if there is a way you can ask for a salary, if there's a way, salary increase, if there's a way that you can even, apply for new promotions, and where are you selling yourself short when it comes to, how much you feel that you are worth. So the Justice card, once again, this is pretty much about imbalances. And in your finance sector, there are pretty much imbalances as well as it pertains to, monetary gains, what's coming in, what's leaving. So be a little bit careful about, frivolous spending for this month. Be a little bit more careful about, like decisions that were made regarding finances that are not well thought out. So these two areas in your chart, it basically means that, you might like, see the wrong sense of worth in something, and you might need to look at the situation further in order to figure out, where are you spending your money, as well as what your long-term goals are. So I feel like putting away money in a savings account would actually be really, really good for you. If you haven't started that, it's a good time for you to start planning that and start thinking about that, because I feel like, money might be siphoned in the wrong avenues. Okay. So third house, communication. We do have here the 10 of Cups in the reverse position. Linked up here with the Magician, it's situations where, emotionally speaking, you might not be able to communicate your thoughts in a succinct way. So it might be, emotions overriding logic, where you are emotionally worked up, either, feeling very emotionally elated, and then you're not able to think in a coherent way, and you're not able to verbalize yourself in a coherent way. So both of these things go hand in hand, where I do feel, burst of angers. And Aquarius don't get mad very easily, and they make a lot of allowances for people overall. You make justifications, and if someone approach you the wrong way, oftentimes you're like, you make allowances for them. You say it to yourself that you might justify it as, oh, he or she probably had a bad day. But I feel like this is a card in which you're not able to communicate well, mainly because you are emotionally worked up, or you are emotionally disappointed at a person, and you might not be able to speak to them in a manner that is rational. It's more like on the emotional front. So be very careful about communication. And I feel like, this is an ongoing thing. It harkens back to January's reading, where I feel like you're a little bit irritable when it comes to dealing with people. And especially for those of you who are, dealing with a lot of clients, a lot of either like a lot of clients, a lot of inquiries from other people, or dealing with, customer service. And I do sense as well that you want to tone down the communication. At the same time, in a professional environment, we're supposed to be very, very neutral, right? We have to train ourselves to conduct ourselves in a way where we are very objective, very platonic. So it would behoove you to try to, cultivate this type of a persona where you're not letting your emotions run amok, and you're able to communicate despite these emotional, difficulties. Okay. So aiming for a little bit more, and this is not something that I feel, it's problems for you in other months, but I feel like for this month, it could just be, your feelings getting the best of you. So take a take a breather, take a deep breath. And before you really feel the need to say something, just ask yourself if it's contributing value, if it's going to change the situation for the better before you say it. Okay. So aim to detach a little bit emotionally from your speech. I feel that's going to be beneficial for you. Now, the fourth house is family. We have here the Page of Cups, and this is a person, water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is somebody in your midst that you're either sharing space with or dealing with, on an everyday basis. And they could also be a member of your family, or even a person that you are, sharing quarters with, for example. So this is a person that wants a lot of activity. They need a lot of stimulation. They might want to go out a lot, and they might be like, let's go here, let's go there. So I feel like you've got somebody in your midst who's either offering you a lot of food, a lot of drinks, or even opportunities to get a lot of food, to go out, to go dining, or even, to get drinks. So in the on the mundane terms, they might just be, bringing a lot of gifts, and I feel like food, beverage. And then in other ways, I do feel like you are dealing with a person specifically that might want, and it's linked up here with the 10 of Cups, that might want to create a family with you, that might want a relationship with you, and that might want, more commitment from you. So I feel like this is an energy coming through from a person that is potentially a water sign, and they want to build a family. They're working at building a family, a home life with you. Fifth house here, we do have the 3 of Cups, and this is a very, very good card about, jovial energy, having fun, social dating, social flirtation as well. Falling in your 5th house, which is the house of fun, excitement, recreation, creativity. It's a very, very good card, which basically denotes that there will be ample opportunities to meet up with friends, to meet up with this isn't just an acquaintance card. This is a card about having emotional connections to the people that you're with. So, meeting up with your best friend, having a really good, either girls' night out, guys' night out, and having just a really, really good time where you feel appreciated, where you feel like you have a very strong emotional connection with the people that you're going out with or dating. So it's a great card. It's for singles who are looking. It's a great card for dating, and they're urging you that there will be many, many dates happening for my Aquarius for this month. So it's a very good card. And I usually think of this card as like reconnecting with best friends, reconnecting with people that you have a very strong emotional bond with. Okay. In terms of your creativity, The Three of Cups is a very good card, which basically means that, you know, conversations, laughter, you know, like more of a lighthearted energy is really going to jumpstart your creativity. For those of you who are, you know, either in any type of a creative venture, you might have been blocked in January, and you might even be blocked in December with that, you know, retrograde period. So they're pretty much urging you that getting out there, getting your mind off of it, I feel that it's going to bring in a spark of energy. It's going to clear up those blockages for you. And it's also going to give you a better idea as to, you know, which direction you need to head. So I feel like a lot of you are waiting on people, and it's a very other-oriented type of month. And I feel that you're waiting on people, and you're waiting on decisions from other people. Where do we go? What time do we meet up? You know, working out the logistics behind going out. And I do sense that it's going to be a little bit taxing for you guys because you're very, very independent. But I feel like you're making time for the people that are worth it, which is a great thing. So you're not going to be too alone this time of year, and especially for this month. Okay, there are a lot of outdoor activities, even social engagements that you must attend. And in the process of attending these social engagements, I feel like they are work related and also friendships related. Okay, so it looks good. Sixth house deals with work. We have here the Ace of Pentacles, which indicates to me brand new projects. Okay, brand new clients, brand new projects, brand new prospects that are made available for you. Usually when I see this card, I think of it as like, you know, landing a really good client and then starting to build the rapport with the client. This is also like brand new projects that are emerging, and, you know, somebody's like, hey, we have this brand new project happening. Do you want to be on board? And so you can decide to turn it down, or you can decide to go with it. So overall, it looks very, very good. And if for some of you, if you've been stalled in January, you know, if you've been putting in a lot of work in a situation and you're not seeing any end results, I do feel that on the work sector, things are going to start to clear up. And I feel that it's going to be happening through, you know, professional networking. Social media networking comes up too often with this card. And especially for those of you who are dealing with any type of publishing, I do feel that coming in for you as well in the work front. So publishing, meeting up with people, linking up, as well as having new opportunities related to creativity, writing, you know, even like funding, research, grants, and things like that. Your mind is going to be very sharp. And I do feel that, you know, even like creative blocks or even writer's blocks, those things are going to clear up for you. The other thing I want to mention as well is I feel like some of you are going to be coming into contact heavily with coworkers. There is, for those who are single, well, single or attached, there's a lot of flirtation. There's a lot of chemistry on the work front. Okay. So, it's available for you as well. And I feel that, you know, you shouldn't mix business with pleasure, but things happen. It's a very good card for flirtation, you know, office romance, flirtation. And I feel like even, you know, a lot of chemistry, attraction to another person in the work front. Okay. Seventh house deals with relationship, and we have the Star here. And the Star is a card about immense healing. It's about wish fulfillment. And it's actually about, you know, feeling very, very good, feeling spiritually uplifted, feeling spiritually realigned, because I feel many of you have a relationship partner in the mix. Okay. So if you are in a relationship, I do feel that you're going to have better sense of where the direction, the relationship is headed, which direction the relationship is headed. You're going to be showered with a lot of love and affection this month, where you start to, you know, whatever hangups you've had from previous relationships, I feel like you're going to be able to heal from it. Okay. So it's a very good card. It's a very positive card. It's also your card. It's a card of Aquarius, the water bearer. This is, the other thing that shows up with this card here is, I feel like some of you might have felt, you know, kind of like alone. Okay. So if you're single right now, you feel almost as if you've struggled through a lot in past relationships, and you feel like you couldn't really affect the outcome. You couldn't really conjure, manifest relationships. And I do sense as well, there might have been some disappointment or dealing with people that might have been a little bit more, you know, devious, manipulative, controlling, things like that. And I do sense that you're going to be able to heal from those past relationships, okay, for this month, because the energy that the work environment and your friends and associates are bringing in, it's restoring your faith in your self-worth, is restoring your faith in yourself as well as how you see yourself. So there's a lot of healing taking place. Others of you who are dealing specifically, you know, with an Aquarius. So I do sense there's going to be a renewal, some type of wish fulfillment, feeling very loved and appreciated by this person. So if you're dealing with another Aquarius, this is a card of Aquarius here landing in your relationship house. So I'm inclined to say that either way, it's going to be, there will be a lot of reciprocity. Moving forward, 8th house, joint finances. For the sake of this reading, let's do joint finances. I feel like some of you are joined up financially with a water sign. So this is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You might be sharing living expenses. You might be sharing bank accounts. You might talk heavily about, you know, financial planning with this person. When it shows up in the reverse position, this is not somebody who makes, you know, practical decisions based on finances. This is also somebody that might, you know, they might feel a little bit entitled to your money. So for example, if you're pooling resources together, they might feel like, oh, you know, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is also mine. So there's a little bit of unfairness here, rebalancing that needs to happen in your finance sector, and especially if you are linked up financially with a water sign. Okay, something to keep in mind about, because like I said, the main focus of these readings is to touch on all areas of our lives and to see which areas are a little bit troublesome or a little bit weak, because the problems are going to start to exacerbate if they're not taken care of early on. So for February, I feel like your financial sector, as it relates to another person, it needs to be re-examined. It needs to be squared away, and it needs to be readjusted in a way where it's fair for both parties, because I feel like you're dealing with some type of the brunt of the financial responsibilities, and the other person is not shouldering the weight or not chipping in their fair share. So I feel like that's what's happening here. 9th house, education, travel. We have here the 2 of Cups, and the 2 of Cups here is basically, as it relates to education, this is a situation where we feel like, you know, hey, I've attained that diploma. I've attained that, you know, certificate. I've graduated. Why am I not able to find the types of job that I want? And so I do sense for some of you, you're either thinking about, you know, like you're having some type of intense readjustment period, or, you know, rethinking whether or not you want to continue a course of schoolwork, or you have recently graduated and the work environment, you know, might not have been very welcoming. So, you know, the job market might not have been very robust. So it might have been very difficult for you to find work. You might have no trouble finding just work, but in terms of like your career, you might feel almost as if you're staying up very late, trying to, you know, find the right jobs, trying to see what's available, trying to be the first person to apply for a job. And you feel that like, I feel like you sense that despite all the education, why am I not landing the jobs that I'm meant for? You know, why am I not able to find jobs that really stirs my passion? So in terms of long distance travel, I feel like some of you are trepidatious, like hesitant about taking some type of a long distance trip, because it basically means that, you know, you might not be able to be close to your partner, your significant other. So there's something here about, you know, taking a trip, planning a trip, taking a trip, 2 people not being on the same page, either, you know, working out the logistic dates, when we leave, when we get back, things like that, as well as feeling hesitant about taking a trip because, you know, it might mean that you're not going to be away, or you're not going to be in the picture with your with somebody that you're living with your friends, or even, you know, with the people that you are you have grown up with. So there's something here about taking a trip and being very worried or not having the opportunities to do that. Okay. What I'm also getting as well is with your career sector. The career sector is 10th house, which is represented here by the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is a card about, you know, anxiousness. It's a card about restlessness. It's also a card about a little bit of sadness, grief, and sorrow. As it relates to career prospects, I feel some of you are in jobs where you're not happy and you want to be in a different career track. And you don't really know realistically the steps necessary to get there. And then others of you, you might be in a work situation where you feel like you don't have all the necessary skills to do the job. So then you have to do extra research, extra things on the side in order to get it, in order to, like, you know, understand the ins and outs of your work environment. And it's not leaving you enough time to do other things. So you feel like you're constantly having to play catch up, whereas your coworkers might already come into the work environment with the skills necessary. So there is a situation here where we are going to have to